So how do couples survive affairs? It's really important to note that while affairs are common and infidelity is common in relationships, people do overcome this. It's one of the biggest things that I see in my counseling practice, and I've helped a lot of people overcome situations. So I wanted to give a few tips if you're in this situation or a friend of yours is in this situation that you could follow to get the help that you need. One of the biggest things that I suggest, you need to go to therapy. Obviously, as a mental health professional and a licensed therapist, I'm going to suggest this, but these situations are real intense and they're very touchy. So make sure that you have support and you have non-biased support, because if you go to a family member, if you go to somebody that just has an opinion, it's just not going to be fair for the relationship. So get in therapy. Okay, so number 2, take responsibility for your actions. And I do say this to the person who offended, but really to both parties as well. You have to take responsibility for your actions and you're in control of your behaviors. So if you're going to therapy and you're getting the tools that you need to work through this, you're both responsible to utilize those tools. It's important to remember that forgiveness takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And you're going to describe it probably as a roller coaster, because it is going to be a roller coaster. So it's going to be ups and downs, and it's about the process and overcoming that together. Again, get a therapist, right? You're going to have to go through a lot of different stuff. It's important to identify some of the barriers that you have currently, and it's important to identify barriers that you've had before. You don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to go have an affair. Most people describe it as sort of going downhill over time, right? It's just not something they woke up with. So it's important to identify what were the roadblocks back then, what are the roadblocks now, have a present focus, but also make sure you're focusing on the past. So lastly, I want to mention that it is a long road. You have to be very, very intentional, but make sure that you're in it for the long haul. Process this with your therapist. I think the message for today is go to therapy, because this is a touchy subject and there's tons of material out there. You can get books, you can get self-help books, but I am going to recommend that you have a third party that kind of walks with you through this, because that is so important. So I hope that this video has been very informative for you. Please remember, subscribe to my channel, give it a like, comment. Remember, this is not therapy. This is just an educational video on what I think that the biggest things are, or some of the biggest things are with affair recovery. So subscribe, follow, like, comment, and I would love to see you on the next one. Remember, you have what it takes to get through, but you don't have to do it alone.